Discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Talisman with all the expansions except the Harbinger expansion. In a nutshell, what the Harbinger does, he is also a character that moves about the map, and there's a deck of Harbinger cards, which are all awful. Thank you, weirdo. They're all awful and they suck. And then there's Omen cards, and in all honesty, we could have played with it.
Oh man, those suck.
The Omen cards dwindle down, and if someone doesn't win by the time the Omen cards go out, everyone loses.
Oh man.
So, but I was like, what?
Oh man.
Oh man.
I heard it. You started laughing and I was like, what? And I was like,
get it.
oh.
Okay, so I will actually start this.
No, you won't.
Because
this is my channel.
Yeah, obviously.
this is absolutely. And when was the last time we played this game?
Oh shit.
It's been a while.
With Mike.
No, we played it. We played it since.
God, that was the
then.
house, you guys.
Yeah, we played it since then.
I
know I have.
have.
This also holds nostalgia for me because this was actually my first board game.
Yeah.
Not counting Descent,
Yeah.
I don't count Descent. This is the board game that got me
that
into
game.
that got me into this hobby. And
I can definitely see that. This is a
like it started with just the main board and I loved it, and then it just kept building and building with more expansions. There's not going to be any more. Yeah. There's not going to be any more because Fantasy Flight lost the rights to it with Games Workshops. And games, unless the Games Workshop decides to make expansions, but even then,
well, why would they get the rights if they weren't going to make more?
They were partnered, weren't they?
They were partnered with Games Workshops, and no one really knows. Either maybe Fantasy Flight didn't want to renew it with them, or Games Workshops didn't want to renew it. So maybe they realized how successful Fantasy Flight was, and was like, "Hey, you can't profit off our stuff anymore." So they just didn't renew. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but they just didn't renew the contract, and they could, but everyone hates Games Workshop because Fantasy Flight did 4th edition.
Yeah. They probably
even then, like
they probably just didn't have anything else they wanted to do with it. So they
exactly. Well, they could have still done more. Maybe not more sides, but they could have done more connections.
Yeah.
Like I like this, even though I was the only one that did it. You could have connected the city to the Highlands and some. But then there are these.
Added some
when it comes to creating something, I feel like there comes a point where if you overdo it, you're not inspired by it anymore.
That's true.
There's no point in like continuing.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a point where
it's like making Assassin's Creed games. Like,
right.
They should have either done it, taken their time and been inspired with it, or they should have stopped.
There's a point where it becomes too bogged down with all the expansions. Like, look at how many cards we didn't go through.
Right.
I shuffled all these too. Like, I intensely shuffled all of them. Combined all the expansions. And to some people that bothers them, because let's say, because you can make this a lot more thematic. You can do all of the Blood Moon cards, the Werewolf cards, to get that Halloween feel. There's the Snow ones, which are the Frost March. So you can dwindle all this down and have a more thematic sense. But to me, one, there's so much variety. 69 different characters. We went through.
Oh, I didn't realize
I went
there was
through
that
two.
many.
You went through. So there's you
Matt
went
through two.
you went through 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We went through 7.
Matt. Or
Taylor, 8.
Yeah.
We went through 8.
Yeah.
There are 61 different characters. Some of them are generic. Luke actually was the only one who had a vary from the base game. But
Yeah.
I'll go through a few. There's a rogue, a dread knight, a gypsy, the necromancer, a bounty hunter, a sage,
I'm impressed they
Possessed.
thought of
that's
so
what
many.
we were
and they
talking
all
about.
have different abilities.
That's
a knight,
impressive. I could think of 69 characters.
right? It's so amazing. Like we've been in the fantasy zone lately. We've been playing the remastered Skyrim, and I was looking through my board games, and I was like, I really don't have any fantasy games. Like I really don't have ignoring Talisman, I was like, there's no like of that like fantasy
Like RPG.
like RPG
building.
fantasy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, because I never see Skyrim because it's in this box. I never see the actual
You never
outside.
see Skyrim.
And then I was
I
like,
think you did say Skyrim.
I never see Talisman because it's in this box. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is the epitome of fantasy to me. And I just love it so much. I like going through my character and leveling them up. And a lot of people think this game isn't thematic. Like this could have been about anything. Like this could have been sci-fi, which is Relic. Relic is the Warhammer, and it's the same style. But they just have so much, and you can. If people think it's not thematic, then they're playing it wrong in a sense. Because Matt started role playing his character. I roleplayed my character by stealing shit.
If it gets too thematic, then it becomes linear, I feel like.
It could.
And then,
It could.
I mean, it's just a different type of game. Not all games can be heavily thematic, you know?
A lot of people hate it because it's just like, this is, whenever I said Arcade Quest is Ameritrash to its core, this is Ameritrash. This and Arkham Horror and Eldritch Horror. You're like, what's Ameritrash? This. Literally, you have almost no choice on what happens to you.
Yeah.
Like, occasionally you're like, where do I want to go? That's if you get the die roll.
Yeah.
And if I had to, if I had any complaints, which I don't have a lot, is I don't really care for the roll to move. That's because as I've played more, like, it's Monopoly. It's, alright, 5. Well, I can go there or there. I wish each character kind of had a base speed.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, the Cat Burglar is
roll to
quick
move
and
is-
agile.
Roll to move is fine, but I just don't like that you can roll as low as 1. Like, I feel like there should, like you said, a base.
Well, yeah,
to start from.
and then to counter-argue, it's like, well, you go get a riding horse. That allows you to roll 2 dice.
Or even better, like I wish you had the option to stop.
Yeah, and then there's items and stuff that allows you to move up to your roll. So there's different items in here, but whenever you have, I don't even know how many cards are there, over 1,000 probably, that it's like tough trying to find it. Originally, I took out talismans from this. I felt like you had to more earn them than just draw and be like, oh, I got a talisman.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, this game is long enough as it is to actually try and earn it. But then there's Warlock's Quest. There's just so fucking much.
Yeah.
And I can't pinpoint a favorite expansion. I guess I do have another complaint about some expansions. I don't really... The Harbinger is fine. She made a complaint about the Dragons expansion. The Harbinger really does add too much. Too much negativity with the cards. They're all
There's
bad.
already so
Yeah,
much.
they're all bad.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the Dragons one.
When I played
It's
it
not
more,
terrible, but...
it's kind of there. I feel like it would be better if you were just playing this.
Yeah, I
not
just
with
feel
all
like,
the extra stuff.
Yeah, I feel like with all the extra stuff, it's just like, oh my god, okay, and the dragons, and if you forget, like you forgot in the beginning, like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But I was actually up with it this time.
Yeah, you
and
literally had to put it in
typically
your lap.
there is a board. It goes on the inlay. But so no one encountered this. They added a lich. That used to be the Grim Reaper, and then there's a mutant that you fight, and then you go through the Valley of Fire.
I wonder if I would like it as much without the expansions.
I've never played it. Normally with this game, I just bog it all together.
Yeah.
But I've wanted to like throw everything out and just keep the base game and just keep these cards because you go through those way more.
We should just do a base game sometime.
Yeah,
And it definitely shortened it down. There are two. I guess I do have a few complaints. There's nothing major. The Werewolf and the Reaper, they're fun, but with all the expansions, like the Werewolf, one didn't do jack shit.
Oh yeah.
You just he's
Well,
over
we
here,
sent
and he's out of the
him here for
game.
some
He's
reason,
out of the
yeah.
game.
That was because of us.
Right. But even then, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
If you were just doing base game, you have very limited places you can move. He becomes more active. The Reaper was a lot more active than I thought he was gonna be. No one died from him.
I feel like in the base game, it would be too much to have both of them. Because there's just, like, I feel like they're almost gonna get someone every time.
Yeah.
You know, just
But
because there's
they're
not
not-
very many spaces. And
That's
you
true.
can't push them away very far.
That's true, but they're not all bad. Like you rolled a 6 on the Reaper and got to choose
Yeah.
something really good, and the Werewolf does the same thing. So the fact that they're just there and you can just move them out of the way.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing? Oh, at the very beginning of the game, you have no goal at the very beginning. I mean, just level up is kind of your goal.
I
And
kind of like that, though.
well,
Gives you freedom.
you do have freedom, but you still have limited freedom based on die rolls.
Yeah.
What I do like is there are revealed alternative endings. Some of them is like for the Thieves Guild or for the city one is you try and get as many bounties. Whoever has the most bounties, or once you have a certain number of bounties, you can make it to the Crown of Command and you win. So I feel like that gives you more of a drive.
Yeah. I like the idea that you know what you need to do, but you need to train first, and you need to go out and experience things. That's at the heart of what an RPG is, you know.
That's true.
And
But even then, you have objectives and goals in an RPG. Maybe not. I guess Dark Souls you don't. Dark Souls you're there and
you do have an objective in this. Well, in Dark Souls you do have an objective. You're supposed to rekindle the flame, but it's it's a very vague and they don't explain it very well.
Yeah. Tired.
But like for example in
You can head out,
Pokemon.
man, if you want. Thanks for playing.
Yep.
Like in Pokemon, you have to grind, you have to train, but you know what you're doing. You're trying
See you
to
guys
fight
later.
gym leaders and doing all that shit. Or with Skyrim, there is a main quest, but then there's also other things you should experience first.
Right.
And that's my favorite part of most RPGs is just going out and experiencing the world without like a sense of direction.
That's true, and making your own goal, and that's why I feel like you should kind of have more speed and stuff like that.
This is one of the only Ameritrash games I've really liked.
Do you think you liked it so much because you were doing so well? You were doing very well.
Definitely part of it, I think.
Because this game can really break you down to your core. Like I felt, but Taylor is usually in a good mood almost always. So he was taking it. He was like, "Oh God, this sucks." I would have been like,
I really feel like that's all Ameritrash though. Like, I feel like all Ameritrash games like because
I guess
Tales of Arabian Nights, I love it when I'm doing well or okay, but if I'm doing really bad, I'm just like, this is the worst game ever.
Yeah.
You know, like
I guess that's with anything.
anything that's so luck based, it's gonna be very like either you love it or you hate it.
Which is definitely this game. All the way, like all the way. This game is so luck based. So I understand why, especially Euro gamers they can't decide like, okay, I don't have a strict like a set path, a linear like I do this and this and this and have a few options. This is just do whatever you want to do.
Well, the thing about Ameritrash is I wouldn't want to play them all the time. But every once in a while, I don't want to be like playing a game that's so deep in strategy and it's like all my choices. Sometimes I just want to play a game like this that I can just roll and encounter things and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in this one, I made strategies like using spells and shit, but it wasn't like, no, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. Right, sitting there thinking your whole turn now.
Yeah, pretty much every Euro
through the ages.
Pretty much every Euro game I've played, I've just been like thinking the entire game, and sometimes you just want to chill.
You just want to roll and be like, oh fuck, I'm a toad! Alright!
That's the difference between role-playing and strategy. Role-playing is just kind of the experience of it, and strategy is just way more like involved. Because like in Skyrim, you're not usually like, oh my god, like how am I gonna, you're just kind of like, you're just kind of grinding.
Go, and then if you die over and over, it gets you like, fuck!
And you just reload your save. Like not that, it's not a big of a deal.
I did have another complaint. But once again, this one is actually the biggest complaint. I'm glad I remembered. But you were gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's why I like Arkham Horror.
Oh, gotcha. So.
Right? Oh, because it's just like sometimes you just want to fucking like.
Oh, because it's more chill.
Not use your brain. You're just
except
like.
Arkham Horror is way more hard. No, Arkham Horror is hard
no,
because
I mean strategy.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Like
you
literally fucking. You're like, okay, I lost.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like I'm dying. I'm getting devoured right now.
Right. So I guess my biggest complaint, and this is actually a valid complaint, the movement, the randomness. That's all I love. I love all that. The randomness I love because it's essentially real life. Like you go to the city and shit's just gonna happen. You have no control over what happens.
Yeah.
And I remember, shut up and sit down. There are two guys. Well, now there are more, but essentially it was two guys from London who trashed on Arkham Horror because they're like, you go to a space, draw a card, something happens to you, and you can't do anything about it. I'm like real life?
Yeah.
Like when you walk out your door, and I guess maybe they want that detachment. They want that control here when it's not out there.
Yeah.
I like the fantasy. I've always loved fantasy over sci-fi. But my biggest complaint is in how long this game is. We probably played 8 hours.
I would say.
The biggest complaint I have, I don't think it's ever happened to me, but I've seen it happen to multiple people. Let's say we had gone 5 hours in, 6 hours in. You got exactly to where you were. You draw a card. You roll. Oh, that's actually. Oh yeah. If you were a lycanthrope, you're killed.
Oh shit.
If you're like, you just die. So imagine if we had gone where no one's close to winning, but you were the best. You draw this card, you die. You wipe everything. Now, while I'm all leveled up, everyone's all leveled up and stuff. You now have to play catch up.
And part of that was the expansions too, I think.
This is from the Blood Moon expansion.
But I mean, like the expansions make everything longer. Like,
yeah.
I think the base game wouldn't have.
The base game was still a good 2-3 hours.
Oh yeah.
So imagine, but even length, I guess it wouldn't be that big of a deal in like a 30, 60 minute game. Yeah. But in a 2-hour game, imagine if we're all leveled up, good to go, we're liking our characters. You're also really good. If you were that character and you just happen to draw a card and die, nothing you can do. I guess in that case, with the Prophetess, you would get to choose again.
Yeah.
But
we did play with 6 people as well.
Huh? Yeah. And so when Matt died, and Taylor left, and Ukiah died, it's disheartening whenever you're like a base character and you don't get shit.
Yeah.
But sometimes, so that can really suck. That would probably be my biggest complaint, is if I had this character and I was like, oh, if I make it to him, I'll win. I can get to the Crown of Command and I'll win. Or shit like the fucking Void, where it's like, oh, okay.
It's one of those games that's, you want to do it over 2 days, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever want to do this again. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't ever want to spend an entire day playing one game.
Right.
It's not, it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of sitting. And
yeah,
it's
weird. I don't get tired from sitting. Like, I'm still very much comfortable.
I'm the same
Well, you
way.
sit
My
at your
knee
job a
hurts
lot,
a little
don't you?
bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you would think I'd hate it.
I always walk during my job, so I'm more of like used to it now. But like I don't know, I think like 4 hours one day, 4 hours the next day, I would like it a lot more. But I still had a lot of fun, it's not that.
Right,
Like, well, if it gets too intense, so like I remember we were playing Twilight Imperium, and like if it just gets too, and that's
probably the longest game I have.
And that's a strategy. That's a heavy.
And that's a heavy strategy
game. So if you're like already not into it, like let's just say you're just playing simple, not in the mood, and you have to sit there for like 8-9 hours, and the whole time you're just like, oh my god, when's it gonna end?
Yeah. That's true.
Like, and that's not fun because then you're not gonna be fun. But obviously, like we were fine today.
Right. Yeah. So like playing long games, like I could have kept this game going, like because I just absolutely love this game. There are other games where I'm just like, please.
Well, yeah, if we had gone with the Void, it would have kept going for quite a while.
Yeah, and I'm glad you all were like, let's pick a different one, because I was like,
we thought we all won.
And I thought we did too, and I reread it, I'm like, oh, another one?
Right.
Fuck that.
I was getting ready to go back here, I was getting ready to go start, do my own thing, but then, who knows, I could have easily died.
Could have died, yeah. It's funny, like, and once again, I've never lost this game. I've gotten close to losing, but we never finished. I was on the verge of losing, but like with this game, anything can happen. You could have been turned into a toad, and you lose everything. Mm-hmm. So if you had lost everything, and I run by and pick it all up,
yeah, that's a huge slap.
Then it's like, all right.
That's the only. I would say that's the only like the most irritating thing about this game is just the fact that I look at all this shit I have. Like, I could spend 4 hours getting all this shit and then just lose it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can die, and then you start over with the rogue, and I mean.
She's pretty good though.
Well, the cool thing is like sometimes you do. They're not all the characters in here are good. The worst character in here. See, there's a dragon rider in here.
The elf.
The elf.
Yeah.
The elf is literally the worst character in here. If I can find him, yeah. There's a fire wizard. There's an alchemist.
I do like that you can
Here
start as a new character instead of just stopping you because I feel like even if you don't think you can win in time with your new character, you can at least
everyone else can die.
You can have you can at least still have some fun and do some experiences. And,
right.
Like Matt's was a total upgrade.
Yeah, well it depends. So the elf.
Like
he doesn't need to roll a forest.
Whenever you got here, it's like I'm obviously not going to win, but I'm still having fun.
Right. Which is awesome. Which is why I love this game. Yeah. But the elf is he can evade creatures and characters in the woods. If he's in the woods, he can move to a different set of woods in the same region, and he doesn't need to roll a die on the forest. That's his abilities.
Damn.
Limited. There's 2 spaces. He's a base game character too.
Yeah.
He is literally the worst character out of all of them. So sometimes if you get the elf, you want to die.
Yeah.
There's people who are like, fuck, I hate this character, and they'll run straight into the dungeon and die.
You do have the option to choose though.
Oh yes, technically, how many do you draw? How many do you get dealt?
I don't remember, but in the video I watched, he said you can either do it randomly or you can choose your characters.
Yeah, I don't let people choose.
Yeah.
I think it's more fun to do it randomly, but in that case, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. If you get stuck with it. If anyone got the elf, I would actually probably be like, nope, and then hand him someone else.
Why
did
you
just take it out in
out?
the first place?
I guess
Frame it. Just.
If I got the elf, I would try to make him good.
Yeah.
Like I would try to make him good.
What if you did run through the dungeon and he just like popped out? Like you thought you were gonna die.
I did think I was. I only won because I had the riding horse that bolted me through.
And
what
also,
if the elf gets
the
that
Dark Lord rolled a 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he could have rolled. I had a 24.
So you're welcome. You're lucky I rolled.
Right. 4, 16. He could have rolled up to a 4, and I would have beaten him by 8 because of the Catechism Blade. So, and because I was leveled up enough, my craft was 5.
If I had a nickel for every 1 I rolled this game, I would have several nickels.
Here's one of the things. I usually would take the flails out because they're too OP. And here's another thing. There's a warhorse. The warhorse allows you to add your craft to your strength during battle.
Damn.
So if I had gotten the warhorse,
I should have gotten that. Fuck.
If you get the warhorse and then
how much was that? 3?
The Warhorse is 4.
4.
Yeah. If you get the Warhorse and the Flail, I would have rolled 2 dice, added them. Yeah, you can get OP if you know what to get in the city.
That would have been perfect for me because I had
You had a
9
shit ton
nine
of
craft,
9 craft,
and well, before I bought the items, I had 3 strength.
yeah,
So I would have had 12 strength.
12 strength. And if you have the Flail, you roll 2 dice and add them to that's your strength roll.
Yeah, that's
And if you roll doubles, that's an 11. You would have had 23
Damn.
strength. And then, so if I had that, it would have been fucking OP. That's how I beat them. I really like the dungeon for that, but I almost think it's kind of cheap because you skip all that while some people have to go through that. The Woodlands I really like. The Woodlands may be my favorite expansion. It may go Woodlands Dungeon, Highland City.
I think it'd be more fair if you killed the Dark Lord and got here, or like
Yeah.
somewhere instead of right to the crown.
Yeah. If you could beat him by 7, you go to the Plane of Peril. If you beat him by 6, it's a Portal of Power.
Yeah.
So you have a chance to at least get closer
Yeah.
than trying to trudge all the way there. Because you still
It
have to
really
roll.
sucks trying to get, especially when there's only one entrance.
And when there's in this. Oh yeah, I forgot the Cataclysm. What do you think of the different board? What do you guys think of the? I guess you've never played with the original.
Well, I wouldn't know because I was in the Highlands the whole game. So, no, I mean, yeah, I really actually wouldn't know. It's pretty cool because I got familiar with this.
Yeah.
I mean, this was interesting because I got taken down by what was it? Fucking Blightwood fanatics, and I was like, oh, I've never fucking heard of them.
They just stomped you to death.
Yeah.
They
really did.
I really like the denizens. How they're like the scavengers of the people of who survived the apocalypse, but they can get annoying when you have specific items like Matt, who had a bunch of gems but couldn't sell them to the alchemist because he wasn't a spot in the city like he was in the base game.
Yeah.
But he shows up, and even if he gets discarded, you just shuffle him back into the deck, so he'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. These things are really cool. There's like a stack of maybe 20, and I think maybe 10 show up on each space. So they're really cool. The art is fantastic.
Oh yeah, the art's
on this
great.
game. It's amazing. It's literally amazing for every single thing. It's all a gambling hall. You're looking, and the art makes sense for what they're doing.
With how many cards there are for the art to be that good,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
It's incredible, and it was one I can't remember. I know it was in my top 5 of top 10 art and board games. The relics. If anyone had beaten the Eagle King, you could have gotten his Eagle Dreadwing, which you roll 2 dice and add them together to determine how far you move.
You can actually see the art for it.
Yeah, hold on. And if you roll the same result on both dice for your move, you may teleport. So whenever I was rolling the snake eyes, I could have teleported to any space in the same region.
Damn.
You can actually get him as a follower, Arc now. You can discard him to teleport to any space in the same region. And then his weapons. You actually basically get everything that he, or anything that's on him. Any other complaint or any complaints with the game?
No, I really just don't like the dragons.
I think we covered it pretty.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the dragons.
I actually
really
I have one complaint. Yeah, I don't like the toad.
The toad fucking sucks.
it's fucking
That's the biggest slap in the face because
The
you drop
blizzards.
everything.
This
The blizzards, yeah.
Oh.
But you get a lot of interesting stories and funny stories sometimes. It's just like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this? Why are there 2 blizzards?
Like, why did I fucking fall through that hole twice?
Twice. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I don't really. I like the dragon. I like the dragons. I just don't like the tokens. I wish there was a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's too many tokens.
Yeah, they just kind of show up.
They fucking bog up the entire.
Yeah.
Eventually it becomes like you know how you were like literally like, oh well, you rolled a 5, go 5 here. Oh well, that's the red dragon. Go 5 there. That's the red dragon again. Like that happens
And
a lot.
nobody wanted to go to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all it was avoiding the entire game.
Yeah, that's true. So next time I debated on not even including them, but I was like, well, it could be fun because one part was really funny when 4 dragons attacked the fucking village. We're like, well, that place is dead to us.
Yeah.
We're never going back to visit.
Right.
To
visit. Yeah, like I could go on and on about this game because I absolutely love it. I was worried actually playing it again because I played so many different games, if it would still be my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, since I have more variety, I have more to pick from. It's still my favorite. Like nostalgia out the window. It scratches that fantasy itch that I get. And even if I'm not in a fantasy mood, I'll always want to play Talisman because I still love fantasy.
I'm always down for fantasy.
So,
I love that.
and you can shorten it too. It's not always going to be a 7-hour game or 8-hour game. You can definitely shorten it. I guess setup time sucks, but that's whatever. I love setting up my board games. There were two things that didn't happen. No one ever burnt cards. Oh, there is one more thing I do want to talk about.
Oh my God.
We didn't ever burn cards. Burn cards were probably... The Ifrits are basically terrorizing the land. So there's fire tokens that make areas more perilous. You end your turn there, you lose a life.
Burn the entire city.
Yeah, we played one. It said the city gets burnt down, or you place a terrain tile on a space and it happened to go on the city. So if we did, let's just say the ruins. I think it was the ruins. We placed it on the city, and we made it like thematic. We were like, you can no longer go in the city because it's ruins. The city space got destroyed. That's how you enter.
And I think I was the alchemist.
She was the alchemist, and the alchemist can go and sell items on the city space and turn them into gold. And the city space wasn't there, so it made your character useless.
And
So that's one. Now technically, you could have been like, no, you can go through the rubble and make it. But I was like, no, the city got destroyed, so that means this is destroyed.
And it makes more sense.
And that was just something thematic we did.
Yeah, I feel like you can make this game more thematic than it is inherently.
Yep. And so that's what that was. And then, so yeah, the burning card removal from the game, it probably matters more whenever you have not 1,000 cards to go through. And the other thing, what do you think of the spells? What do you think of all the spells? Because there's also a shit ton in here. There's some that are just fucking intense. Brainwave, cast on yourself at any time your craft value is doubled until the end of your next turn. Drain life, cast on an enemy you are about to encounter, discard the enemy and heal an amount of life equal to the enemy's strength or craft. So there's a lot of shit. I personally love playing characters who have spells.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't really have any real big complaints about it because I don't feel like any of the spells I cast really ruined anybody, and I don't feel like anything's cast on me got really ruined me. I feel like
There
it
was one that tried, yeah.
It was enough to where it was annoying, but it wasn't enough to ruin the game for me.
Right.
So I think there was a pretty good balance. I don't love or hate them. I just think they're about where they should be.
Right.
You know?
There was one you could have cast on someone, the Vindication, that could have totally screwed them. Especially when the Fates took everyone's fate, and then you cast it and they roll a 1, they're like, oh, well, what would have happened? Oh, the prayer, I would have just been ignored. But they could roll a 1 and die.
Yeah.
So you could really screw people over.
Is that one life or just all lives?
For, if you roll a 1, you're killed.
Okay.
So,
no matter how many lives you have.
Yeah, if you have, you can have the whole thing. And when you were at 6 or 7, you're dead.
Yeah. See, something like that seems kind of shitty, but you know.
And to me, it's like, well, we're all adventuring heroes. We're all trying to get the crown of command, trying to get the power.
Yeah.
So I hold nothing back. But this game, and that's another thing.
Well, I mean, that card specifically, I feel like it's a little bit OP.
It's based on luck.
But yeah.
And timing. If they roll a 1, Matt almost turned into a toad. He spent a fate to re-roll.
Well, especially considering the fact that a character like mine I can literally I can spend a spell every turn and then get another one.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that I'm in a position to spend it.
Yep.
I could just get something like that willy nilly and just oh, I'm gonna use this, kill someone, get another one.
Yep. You know. Oh yeah. That's why I like playing him. There's cards in here. That it's one's even called random, and it's literally a die roll, and if you roll a 1, you're turned into a toad.
Yeah.
So I love this game. Absolutely love it. Probably won't play with the Dragon expansion. Not my favorite. If we do base game, we'll have to try that at some point. But anyway, anything else? Anything else on this game? Okay. So that was our thoughts on Talisman with all the expansions. Yeah. Tell me what you think if you played this game and love it as much as I do. But other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to help out the channel, I have my Patreon link right there. If you want to make some suggestions on board games you'd like to see us run through, I have my board game geek list right there. And if you want to just, like the Facebook page, I have my Facebook link right there. And have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.